my alphas. It's a lesson that we've spoken about before. Delving into a little bit of mindset. Remember, your mind is the most powerful tool that you've got. Put as much attention into the growth and the progression and the health of your mind and your brain, and it will ultimately have a positive impact into many, many other areas of your life. Welcome along. My name is Andy Naylor. I am founder and CEO of Naylor Body Design and, of course, host of the Optimal Alpha podcast. Whatever your goal is, make it visual. Put it in front of your eyes. What your eyes see, your brain is going to soak up, right? So create goal boards. Visualize things. Here's a really good example. So I do this quite a lot. If I've got, say I'm doing a really heavy set of certain exercise, pardon me, that could be a deadlift, a hack squat, a leg press, something that is going to take everything I've got. In the 2 to 3 minutes before I do it, what am I doing? I've got my eyes closed and I am doing that set in my mind. I have already performed the set in my mind to the rep number that I hope I'm going to hit. I've trained my brain to already do the thing before I physically ask my body to do it. Visualization. So powerful, but are you using that? Another thing that I used to do in one of my preps, and in fact I've done it in all of my preps, I would visualize in my mind something that would help me work out how well my day has gone. So I had have a list of actions that I need to get done in a day. I've got to hit my food, drink my water, get my steps in, do my training, get a nap, There'd be like list of goodness knows how many things. If I could get to the end of the day and genuinely be able to tick them all, and I would probably put them in a spreadsheet and I would probably tick them. When I know that I can tick them all, in my mind, there would be a wall that I was creating and I could put a brick in that wall. And it would start off as like a little wall that would maybe go around the outside of someone's garden, and it'd be a brick and then a brick and then a brick. And I would, in my mind, this wall, it's then started to become the side of a castle. And as I got as this thing grew, then I'd build a little turret on one side and shove a flag on it, and then I started to graffiti it, and I literally turned this wall into a thing. I could look at it every day. I could close my eyes and picture how many bricks were in the wall and how many left I could put in. And if I had a shit day, I couldn't put a brick in. I'd take a brick out. Just a really simple, but I was so focused on do everything I need to do so I can shut my eyes and I can put a brick in the wall and I can build this thing, mentally build this thing. So I'm mentally creating something while physically doing the work. So I found that super powerful. Thoughts become things, ladies and gentlemen. Thoughts become things. What you think could become a reality. Everything in our world, basically, that's man-made, was just a thought at some point. Someone just thought this thing would be useful, or this would solve a problem, or this would be nice, or whatever, and then it became a reality. Thoughts become things. So be bloody mindful of your thoughts. Be very mindful of your thoughts. Never bad self-talk, ever. If you take one thing from today, I would suggest this is it. Because too many people are very good at self-deprecating, talking themselves down. Oh, Andy, God, you can stick to your diet plan so well, man. Oh, I could never do that. Oh, I could never do that. What a load of shit. Well, actually, now that you've just said it, no, you probably can't. Because you've just told yourself that you can't do it. There's every reason you could stick to it, but you've told yourself you can't. You've just tricked your mind into now believing it can't do something. How many times are you doing that a day? How many times have you done that this week, last month? In your life? How much is that keeping you inside your comfort zone? Think about this. The only reason you're telling yourself you can't do something is because of fear of failure. The fear of failure isn't even a real bloody thing. It doesn't exist. It's just your worry of the unknown. But let's say you start to try and stick to a diet plan. What's the worst thing that can happen? You don't stick to it. But why would someone say, oh, I could never do that before they've even bloody started? So really poor mindset. Never, ever self-deprecate. Never talk yourself down. Talk yourself up. Maybe not to the level of arrogance, no. But wherever you are now, probably you could talk yourself up from where you are. There is nothing wrong with saying, I'm pretty damn good at this and I'm going to get better. And I might help some people come along the way. Like, that's just a completely different mindset. Oh, I could never do that. Oh, no, 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 no. We used to call it not in my backyard. Oh, you're really good at that thing, but not in my backyard. What a load of shit. You've got to get yourself out of that type of mindset. See it in your mind first, then go and create it. Here's another way of looking at this. Your perception of the world that you live in is simply your perception. You are looking through the world through a lens of your experiences and the stories that you've been telling yourself. The way you see the world is not the way anybody else sees it. The world is not the same for everybody. It simply isn't. Your perception into the world is what you've created. It's not what the world is. It's not what the world is. It's what you've created it to be. So if you don't like the world that you're living in, you can change it at any moment you like. Just change your bloody perception. Change the inner self-talk in your mind. The world can become whatever you want it to become. Yes, there will still be challenges. There will still be struggles. There will still be crap parts. Yes, welcome to the real world. But generally speaking, you can change your perception. Here's an easy way of doing this. Whenever something bad happens, verbalize the positive. Oh, I was going to go out for a walk today and it's absolutely throwing it down with rain. It's probably a little, I can't go out there. It's raining too much. But the back garden's loving it. The flowers, the grass, like everything out there is getting a really good watering. That's one thing I haven't got to do today. It's the simplest little thing, right? You might be like, yeah, okay, I don't know how that's useful, but you try it. Every time you hear yourself say something bad, say something negative, follow it up with the positive all the time, all the time. And then maybe even help other people do it as well, which can be slightly annoying for the other people, but for sure, right? It's a better mindset to have. Like, I've learned to train my mind to do this. I'm not perfect at it, of course I'm not, but I tend to see the positive in a situation as much as I possibly can. And I'll be honest, I don't normally see it immediately, but when I reflect, I'm like, aha, this happened for a reason. This was shit at the time. I now see the bigger picture. And I try to take myself back to that moment and, refix that in my mind. It's an ongoing process. It doesn't just happen, but it's part of building a killer mindset. Outlook determines outcome. Outlook determines outcome. What you're looking upon, how you see it, is the outcome that you're going to get. If you look on everything out there as being negative, then welcome to a negative world. Good luck. I hope you're happy there. No one's going to be able to help you. You've got to start to sit there and go, okay, I need to maybe change this. One of the simplest ways of doing this is mindfulness, meditation practice. Sitting down for 10 minutes a day, shut the fuck up, breathe your nose, and try and listen to the thoughts in your mind. Realize how busy your mind is. I think there's a saying that's not a saying, I think there's a statistic that something like 80% of the thoughts you have today, you had yesterday, and you'll have tomorrow. Like, you're just on a loop. Aren't we all just on a loop? The same worries, the same fears, the same problems, the same this, the same that. 80%, give or take, the thoughts you have today, you had yesterday, and you have tomorrow. Like, I find that quite worrying because we're supposed to be moving forward. So, a little bit of mindfulness practice. There is an app out there that I personally use called Calm. There are others. I think there's one called Headspace. There's probably a few others that are mindfulness-led practices. Very, very useful. A great way to allow yourself space between two things: a stimulus and your reaction to it. Most people, something happens and they react quickly. And sometimes, if you're in a road and a car's coming towards you, that might be useful. But in most of our world, trying to increase the size of the gap between the stimulus and your reaction helps you make better decisions. Now, bring this back into the fitness world. The stimulus, your partner saying, shall we get a bottle of wine and a pizza tonight? Like, you sit back and go, is this a good idea? Now, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But the more time you give yourself in between pizza, fuck it, yes, let's have one. Or, actually, while I now think about it, why don't we make something fresh from home that's just as tasty, just as nice, ticks the box, but we can quantify what we're eating? That gap, mindfulness will give you that. So I truly hope that it's helped someone out there. If it has, well, then let us know. 5-star review, give us some feedback. It's always useful. I will catch you next week. Take care.